Into week 2 we go in Major League Soccer with all teams having now played one game except for three, those being LAFC, the LA Galaxy, and the Chicago Fire. All will take to the pitch this weekend. In fact, they and 28 of the 29 teams, no Minnesota this week, will all be on the pitch today on Saturday for a jam-packed 14-game slate. Last week in our MLS Bets, we were just 1-2. We cashed one parlay, but Austin lost to St. Louis, new expansion team, and Sporting Kansas City couldn't find one goal against Portland, even though they dominated large portions of that game. So we're going to aim for better this week, and let's start it off with an Austin FC win against Montreal. Austin's only lost 3 times at home last season. They were 8-6-3 at Q2 Stadium. They're going to be eager to give their home fans 3 points in week 2 after giving up a 2-1 lead last week to expansion side St. Louis and losing 3-2. Montreal suffered a loss of their own, losing 2-0 to Inter Miami. They lost a lot this offseason, and including head coach Wilfred Nancy, Georgi Mihalovic, Alistair Johnston, and Ismail Kone. I'm not sure Montreal has enough to pull off an upset in Austin, who had 7 shots on target last week and were 2022's third leading goal scorers. We're going Austin to win at plus 118. Next up, we have a parlay with Inter Miami and Philadelphia Union. The Union put up a 4 spot on Columbus last week. They won 4-1, while Miami claimed a 2-0 win over Montreal in week 1 as well. Miami made the playoffs last year, but had a minus 9 goal differential in allowing 56 goals, the third most in the East. Meanwhile, Philly were the league's highest scorers with 72 goals last season, scoring a goal in 31 of their 37 regular season and playoff games, and they had the highest goal differential in the league. Philly does have the CCL on deck next week, so just in case they're a little distracted, we're just going to pick them to score 1 goal in the first leg of this parlay. Moving on, we're going to take Columbus just to get 1 goal against DC. No team allowed more goals than DC's 71 last season. And while they got the 3 points in week 1 against Toronto, they still allowed 2 goals. The Crew got just 1 goal last week, and it was an own goal. But they do have plenty of firepower with Cucho Hernandez and Lucas Zelarayan. Looking to open their accounts this weekend, I'm throwing a crew goal into this parlay. And the last leg will be San Jose and Vancouver. Both teams lost 2-1 last week. The Whitecaps won the XG battle, 1.3 to 1.2. While the Quakes lost it by that same total. Across all competitions, preseason included, only 1 of 17 San Jose matches lately have had fewer than 2 goals scored. Take out the 1 preseason game this year, and 24 of the Caps' other 25 past games have also seen 2 or more goals scored. We can see a similar trend when these two teams match up against each other as well. In the past 20 head-to-head matchups between San Jose and Vancouver, there have been 2 or more goals scored 18 times when these teams meet up. I'm not sure who wins this game, but I can see over 1.5 goals being scored. So we're going to go Philly to score, Columbus to score, and over 1.5 goals in San Jose versus Vancouver. That's minus 138. And finally, one more parlay. We're going to start it off with the first game of the afternoon today, LAFC versus Portland. After their game last week was postponed due to winter weather, LAFC kicks off their 2023 season today at home to Portland. They scored second most goals last season with 66. Portland scored 53. Portland had the most games see both teams scoring last season. Their defense wasn't strong as they allowed 53 goals as well. Last week, Portland got a 1-0 win against SKC, but they had less possession, less attempts, less shots on goal, less corners, less crosses, and less XG. I'm not sure what to make of a team playing their first game against a team that has already had one under their belt, but I do think we'll see some goals. Only twice in 16 meetings between these teams have there been fewer than 2 goals scored. So let's include over 1.5 goals in this match into our parlay and not worry about who wins or where the goals come from. And we'll pair that with both teams to score with Atlanta and Toronto. 2 teams with good attackers and poor defending meet up here. Toronto was leading in stoppage time last week and they lost 3-2 in DC. Meanwhile, Atlanta was losing in stoppage time last week at home and they won 2-1. The 2 games between these teams last season were 4-2 and 2-1. From what we saw in week 1, it could be more craziness in week 2, so let's both bet both teams to score with Atlanta and Toronto, with over 1.5 goals in LAFC and Portland. That's at minus 124 odds. Let's make some money. Let's win some bets. Good luck this weekend, everybody.